Hey guys, HTV here and welcome to a brand new video. Today we've got some pretty big things to go over. A new Nintendo Direct has been rumored to be happening very soon, along with the release of the Nintendo Switch 2. We have some new Legend ZA DLC rumors as well called the Hidden Cells, and then we also have a few other bits and bobs to go over as well. New events, announcements, other Nintendo Switch 2 stuff. A lot of things to break down today. So if you're excited for the video, drop a like down below, leave a comment, subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into the video. So, starting things off, let's quickly go over some new Pokemon events and announcements. The first one is a new mass outbreak event for Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. Wasn't really expecting this because we are in the middle of the Garchomp 7-star raid, which is going to be back this weekend. But this is also something that has been announced. We've got Cerebi here tweeting out saying, Cerebi update, the next Pokemon Scarlet and Violet mass outbreak event has been announced. It focuses on Tarantula, Spinarak, and Venonat. Runs from the 30th of May through to the 1st of June. So I don't know if it's some sort of like bug kind of celebration or something happening in certain countries or whatever. But either way, we do have a shiny boosted outbreak event for these three bug types. So that, as I say, takes place on the 30th of May through to the 1st of June, which is of course this weekend. And then as well as that, we have a new Pokemon Go update as well. We've got Cerebi here tweeting out saying, Cerebi update, the Pokemon Go Ancients Recovered event has been announced. It runs from the 23rd of June through to the 27th and focuses on all 6 legendary giants. So that's a Reggie sort of event that's going to be happening from the 23rd of June through to the 27th. But yeah, that's a couple of the upcoming events for various different Pokemon games. Moving on, let's talk Nintendo Direct. We apparently are going to be getting one very soon, which isn't crazy because obviously we usually get Nintendo Directs in June. It just feels like it's a pretty quick because we've just obviously had the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct back in, I think it was in April or something like that. I'm obviously all for it. They do need to announce new Nintendo Switch 2 games because as of right now, the only ones that they're making that are brand new for the Nintendo Switch 2 are of course Mario Kart and Donkey Kong. So we're going to need some more stuff there, like that 3D Mario game that's been heavily rumored, loads of things like that. And we could even get Pokemon Legends ZA news in this as well. And obviously, we haven't had a trailer for Legends ZA for a bit, so it would be a great time to kind of drop that. But anyway, let's take a look at it. So it has the Game Rant here tweeting out saying the next Nintendo Direct, expected to include multiple release date announcements, is reportedly happening in a matter of days. And again, you know, they're talking about release date announcements. We still need the release date for Legends ZA. So I think if we don't get a Legends ZA trailer soon, then it's probably just going to be in this Nintendo Direct. But anyway, this is obviously just a rumor at the end of the day, but apparently it's very likely to happen. So a new report from a well-known industry insider suggests that a new Nintendo Direct is happening really soon, likely around the time of the Nintendo Switch 2 launch. So of course the Nintendo Switch 2 is next Thursday, so we might get that Nintendo Direct on like the Tuesday or the Wednesday. Probably not going to be this. I mean, it could be this week, but again, if it's going to be around that Switch 2 release, then yeah, it could be next week. But anyway, it says the event itself is expected to feature multiple release date announcements and won't necessarily be focused on Nintendo's next console. So this prediction comes from Pedro Enrique Lutelipe, a Brazilian journalist also known as PH Brazil. PH Brazil has a pretty squeaky clean track record. There's been right about a lot of things, especially when it comes to Nintendo Directs as well. In recent years, Lipe shared several credible insights into the inner workings at Nintendo. Most notably, he was the first to break the story that the Nintendo Switch 2 would be released in 2025, a report made at a time when most industry watchers were forecasting a 2024 launch. So during a late May 2025 live stream, Lipe predicted that the next Nintendo Direct will happen in the near future, predicting it's set to take place either on the week of May the 26th, which is this week actually, or the one right after, as first picked up by FamiBoard's user Dan. So it actually could happen this week, which means that we could be getting Legends ZA news this week if this Nintendo Direct happens. The claim suggests that Nintendo's next product showcase could be planned for around the time of the Nintendo Switch 2 launch, which is scheduled for June the 5th. However, this isn't to say that the rumored June 2025 Nintendo Direct will be focused on Nintendo Switch 2 games. Then goes on to say, seeing how multiple 2025 Switch 1 games are still waiting for release dates, Nintendo is more likely to get those announcements out of the way prior to holding another Direct that's entirely focused on its next console, whose overall launch lineup has been largely established since early April. The current list of high-profile 2025 Switch games without confirmed release dates include Pokémon Legends EA, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, and Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. Then says, as for Switch 2 games, a June 2025 Nintendo Direct would serve as an opportunity for the Japanese gaming giant to further showcase the likes of Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza, assuming it takes place before the new console hits the market. Some game announcements are also a possibility, not least because of Nintendo's historical tendency to reveal new titles along the third quarter of the year. And then looking at broader trends, a June 2025 Nintendo Direct looks like a fairly safe bet. Since first introducing its video product showcases in late 2011, Nintendo has never missed an opportunity to hold at least one such event in June. Between 2012 and 2024, the company has averaged exactly 2 June product showcases per year. While some of them were Pokemon Presents events, the majority were Nintendo Directs. So, like I said, I feel like we're just days away from hopefully finding out some more stuff about Legends EA. And the good thing about Legends EA is it's a Switch 1 game that's also getting a Switch 2 version as well. So whatever this Direct is about, there's a good chance it's going to have Legends EA info. So yeah, if we do get that Direct this week, you'd like to think that it's going to have Legends EA in and they're going to give us a release date, because obviously it was in the Switch 1 Direct this year, it was in the Switch 2 Direct this year, albeit not a crazy amount, but it was still present in both of those Directs. So I'm very, very confident that we are going to be getting something. PH Brazil, like I say, has a very good track record, and like I say, Pokemon Legends EA is one of the big Switch 1 games that we still need the release date of. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we get something this week. Again, if we do, I'll of course let you guys know straight away. But yeah, a little bit of positive news coming out of the kind of rumor mill as of today. But yeah, that's apparently a Nintendo Switch or Nintendo Switch 2 Direct happening hopefully this year, this week, which might feature Legends EA news. Moving on, we have another update regarding game and hardware prices for the Nintendo Switch 2. We have Nintendo Everything here posting saying Nintendo president comments on approach to the Switch 2 game and hardware prices. So again, I feel like we've covered a couple of kind of articles and stuff on prices and everything for the next console and the games and everything, but they do just kind of keep drip feeding us more information about it and how they're kind of coming to these conclusions and stuff like that. But either way, this was posted on Nintendo Everything saying around the reveal of the Nintendo Switch 2, there was a ton of discussion taking place around pricing, while the system having a set cost of $450 was a tough pill to swallow for some. For the most part, it seems that initial news has been accepted. However, game prices have been more controversial. Many were surprised to see the Mario Kart World would cost $80, for example. Nintendo President Shuntaro Furukawa was questioned about the company's approach to pricing during a financial results briefing Q&A this week. Here's what he had to say. So, the prices of Nintendo Switch 2 products are decided to comprehensively considering the market environment in each region. In addition to the manufacturing cost, the price of the hardware is decided after considering various factors such as the impression customers have on the price, exchange rates that are significantly different from the time of the release of Nintendo Switch, and the market environment in each region. For software, in addition to the same factors, the price is decided by considering factors such as increased cost due to increased game capacity and longer development periods. As for the future policy, we will continue to consider the appropriate price for each software title as before. For hardware, although there are special factors such as tariffs, we will carefully consider the factors I've just explained and decide the price. Nintendo of America President Doug Bowser previously said that the company understands that not all consumers will be able to afford the Switch 2. That's one reason why the company is keeping the original Nintendo Switch around. So again, just them kind of giving more information about how they kind of come to terms with certain prices for hardware, software, everything like that. Doesn't sound like it's going to go down. If anything, it's only going to go up because of tariffs and stuff like that. But either way, just wanted to keep you guys in the loop about that. But that's just a bit more of an update about the Nintendo Switch 2 prices. Moving on, we have a new Legends ZA DLC rumor to take a look at. This was posted on the 23rd of May, so a few days ago from now, and it's just titled Legends ZA DLC Information. This was posted on 4chan, so as always, shouldn't even have to say this anymore, but take it with a massive grain of salt. When you see an image like this, just know that it's probably going to be fake. but there are people that do scour 4chan that do have correct information, as we did get an image of the starters before the Legends EA trailer dropped and stuff back in February, yada yada yada. Anyway, with all that out of the way, let's take a look at the apparent DLC for Pokemon Legends EA. I mean, the game's not even out yet, and we're already talking about DLC, whether it gets a free update DLC, who even knows. We know that there was going to be planned DLC, but that's because the game was supposed to come out last year, and the DLC was supposed to come out next month, June 2025. But anyway, that's confirmed from the Terra leak. But again, that could have been scrapped because obviously the game itself got pushed back over a year. But with all that out of the way, now let's get into the rumor. So it says Legends ZA will have a DLC titled The Hidden Cells. So that's a pretty cool name. Obviously, I assume they're referring to Zygarde cells. And it says Zygarde will be getting a 25% form. Remember, we already have a 10%, 50%, and 100% form for Zygarde. And now apparently it's getting a 25% form and a 75% form, as well as a Mega Evolution as well. So if this was true, you'd have 10%, 25%, 50%, 75%, 100%, and Mega Evolution, which is 6 different forms of Zygarde, as well as like the Zygarde kind of cells and stuff like that. So give or take 6 or 7 forms. It says the 25% form looks like a crab, and the 25% form looks like a scorpion. These 3 starters will also be getting Mega Evolutions. So Typhlosion, being the Legends Arceus starter, becomes Firefighting, and the other 2 stay the same typing. So Mega Samurot's armor becomes a lance and gets a spikier fin. Mega Typhlosion becomes bulkier and more brown, and Mega Superior becomes longer and looks more elegant. So if this were to be true, it's because they then could give a Mega Evolution to all Generation 2 starter Pokemon and then all Generation 5 starter Pokemon. Because, let's be honest, nobody was really expecting 2 Johto-mons and a Unova-mon as the starters in this game. We were expecting them to be kind of like different in the sense that it'd be like 3 starters from different regions, like Legends Arceus. They are different regions, but yeah, 2 from Johto is obviously no one was really expecting it. So this would kind of complete both of those trios and give them all Mega Evolutions. So Mega Superior becomes longer and looks more elegant. Other new Mega Evolutions I saw were Venomoth, Maractus, and Turtonator. So 3 very, very random Pokemon getting Mega Evolutions there. Not really any that I'd be too bothered to see. Maybe Turtonator would be kind of cool, but we do know there are extra Mega Evolutions which may or may not be in a future DLC or may just be in the game at some point. And we know, I think, like 2 of them are from Unova, maybe, and I think 1 more from Gen 1. But again, that's kind of, we don't know what they are, so it's less likely that that's going to be true. But again, came from the same sources like the Terra leak and stuff, so you'd like to believe it is. But the story in this DLC will take place in Route 18, as well as Terminus Cave, I assume that's going to be, where the player will discover the secrets that lie within it. I didn't see many new characters, but did see one that might be Wulfric's son. That is all I have to share. So, yeah, not a very long rumor for the Pokemon Legends ZA DLC at all, but it's still a rumor nonetheless. Again, look, we might get DLC. It's hard to say. It was planned, as I said. It may have been scrapped. It may have not been scrapped. If it hasn't been scrapped, it's going to be interesting when they bring out this DLC because, let's be honest, this game itself is probably going to be coming out September, October, November time. And then we're going to get Gen 10 announced in February 2026. So are they going to then announce Gen 10 and then also announce a DLC for Legends EA? Would it put people off Gen 10? Would it put people off the Legends EA DLC because of Gen 10? Who really knows? I mean, in a perfect situation, they obviously dropped Legends EA in like October, and then in the February presents, they announced Gen 10, and then they also announced the Legends EA DLC. We get the DLC in like June, and then we get Generation 10 in November or whatever, but then they'd have to promote both. So again, it's hard to say which avenue they're going to take. They may just scrap the DLC entirely, but because they were going to make it at one point, which is confirmed, maybe they're carrying that on. Who knows? But either way, that's just the Legends EA DLC rumor. Let me know your thoughts on it. I mean, it doesn't really give anything to make me completely not believe it, but I think probably like 6 or 7 forms for Zygarde, it's quite a lot. But I do like the name, the Hidden Cells and stuff, and 3 new Mega Evolutions for the starters, and then 3 other new Mega Evolutions as well. So the DLC would bring 6 new Mega Evolutions, 2 new forms, and then I guess a new story arc or whatever. But either way, that's the latest Pokemon Legends ZA DLC rumor. Finishing things off for today's video, we have a new Nintendo Switch 2 update regarding the mouse sensitivity. So this was posted up by Nintendo Soup saying you can adjust mouse sensitivity on the Nintendo Switch 2. So just a quick little bit of information to go over here. So this is the image here, which has parental controls, accessibility, data management, users, controllers and accessories, audio display. You go over to controllers and accessories, update controllers, Joy-Con to mouse controls. You can obviously have that off or on. And then you can also click on mouse sensitivity and have it on high, medium, or low. So Nintendo Switch 2 will allow you to adjust the mouse sensitivity speed of the mouse cursor of your Joy-Con 2 and other mouse accessories compatible with the system. The setting can be accessed via the controllers and accessories tab in system settings. 3 options are available: low, medium, and high. Keep in mind that some games may not allow you to adjust mouse sensitivity. So yeah, just an extra little bit of information about the Nintendo Switch 2 console that obviously you may not have been aware of. I don't know if you're going to use the mouse controls. I'm going to give it a go. It might just not be something that I ever use. It will be interesting if they are utilized in Legends ZA, though. We know they're going to be utilized in the Metroid game, so hopefully that's happening for Legends ZA as well. I don't know when they would really be used, but I don't know, maybe catching Pokemon, something like that, who knows. But anyway, just another update for the Nintendo Switch 2 there. But that does bring us to the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please do consider leaving a like down below. Let's try and hit 500 likes. It does really help out. Leave a comment with your thoughts on anything we covered today. Of course, all the Nintendo Switch 2 stuff. Do you think we're going to be getting a Nintendo Direct this week? And also, what are your thoughts on the Legends ZA DLC rumor as well? But thank you for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And until next time,